Ladies and gentlemen, I am with the next great filmmaker who I guess I would say getting his start, finding his way with a brand new film that is going to be screened in West Michigan at the Wealthy Theater on the 12th of January at 8 p.m. We welcome in the one and only Andrew Cach. Hello, Andrew. How are you?
Hello. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me today. I mean, this is incredible, you know.
I'm glad to have you. This is, I think, going to be a lot of fun. You have made a film in the tradition of a film like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, if you're into that type of camp horror, is I think what it's described as, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's like what I was going for. I was going for like a more like campy feel, kind of like 80s style type horror movie, because I was watching Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and they have like a theme song, and there's like, it's like they like kill people in different ways and stuff like that, and like it's like a very creative way. They're like, spinning them in cotton candy and like sucking their blood or whatever. So I kind of just like took my perspective on like that, you know what I mean? So like, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to make a fucking killer hamburger.
Which is Night of the Living Burg. So there you go. Burg. Okay, great.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like Night of the Living Iceberg or anything, but it's like hamburger. Yeah.
Okay. Now there's a lot to process here in this 30-minute short. I guess that would be categorized as a short.
Yeah, it would be categorized as a short. Yeah, that's correct.
And I don't want to give away too much, but I think it's just important to note that what started out as a well-intentioned food experiment blends with the outside food world in the restaurant industry, and that leads to terror and pandemonium inside of said restaurant.
Yes, exactly. And, working in the food industry, like that's where I got a lot of like my inspiration from. I mean, I literally shot the film where I'm still currently working, but I shot everything there. But the idea spawned from a local restaurant in Grand Rapids, and it was like me and a group of friends, and one of my buddies just like put toothpicks in a hamburger bun. He's like, dude, look, it's a fucking killer hamburger. And I'm like, oh man, that needs to be a fucking movie, man. So that's where like the idea started. And it was just, we couldn't do it there. I ended up like moving back to the Detroit area, because I was living out in Grand Rapids, but I moved out back to the Detroit area, and somehow I got the opportunity to actually create this thing.
Okay. Now, you have, in addition to the actors, the musicians, which we'll talk about in a second, involved with Night of the Living Burg. Troy Smith is a guy that I got to know in the last year or two. I spent a little bit of time with him in September at the Magic Bag for the Who Are These Podcast show. And Troy is a very talented artist, and he in fact did all of the artwork for those show posters and things like that for them. But he designed and created the killer hamburger puppet and even acts with it, doesn't he?
Yes, absolutely. So I had, I asked Troy, I was like, I need a killer hamburger. And he was like, all right, well, it's my first time like puppeteering and like all that stuff. And he came up, he actually, hold on. He gave me the box.
Okay.
Which contains the killer hamburger. So I do own it now, which I didn't expect. So the first premiere we did, he handed it to me, and I was blown away. But he came in on set and brought this box and was like, here's the burger. And he just opened it up. I hadn't seen it. I hadn't you know what I mean? It was a surprise to me, man.
Yeah, his work, every time I've seen anything he does, I'm like, what the fuck, man? This is awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's like absolutely incredible. And he like keeps it under wraps and he's just like, oh, okay, yeah. And then he brought it and I was like, all right, sweet. But yeah, he did create it and he did play the actual like burger puppet. You know what I mean?
How have you known him? Is it just friend for years type of deal?
So we met, man, I was probably like 18 or 19. He was doing some like rap music with his band called Swill. And we would like go to shows and like the initial meet was do you know Greenfield Village in Dearborn?
Yep.
Yeah. So like basically like all my friends, everybody like worked there. So it all kind of started there. You know what I mean? So like him and my brother were working together. And then my buddy Josh was working there as well. And I don't know, we would all like go to shows and like hang out. It was just kind of like a group thing. Like we got a party bus and went and saw like Head PE, and someone actually bigger than me, I don't know, I'm like 6'4", 300 pounds right now, like actually got me to crowd surf, which was insane. I was like, dude, a guy bigger than me freaking got me to crowd surf. That's Neil. Neil was part of Troy's group. So, and yeah.
So you guys hit it off. Fast forward, here we are. You've got this stable of friends / people who are going to act out different members of the cast. Did I pick up? Was that a nod to the actual film Attack of the Killer Tomatoes during the shot of the guy cutting the tomatoes?
Yeah, that was. I actually that was kind of like an add-in, and I was like, I just need to get like something to cut to, you know what I mean? But then
it works out.
Yeah, exactly. Like it did.
It absolutely. If people are kind of like taking a peek into what's going on in your brain, it's almost like a little homage to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you been interested in this type of like, I guess, not culture, but this style of filmmaking or just filmmaking in general for a long time? Has this been your passion?
Yeah, I would say so, man. Like I mean, ever since I was a kid, like we had like the Monster Squad on VHS. We had it was actually Return of the Killer Tomatoes that I was like, that's what we had as a kid, which actually has like a young George Clooney in it, which is great to watch. I mean, Lost Boys, like, and then you sort of like, I went out and like kind of found like my own type of movies that I like to watch. Like I just saw Terrifier 3, like I know what he's going for. I'm on like the edge. I'd like to get a little bit more gore in it and stuff like that. But that dude's like pushing the envelope right now. And I love comedies, man. Like if I had to say like my favorite movie, I'd probably have to say like Dumb and Dumber. Okay. I love like that was like kind of like the one you'd watch all the time as a kid. You know what I mean?
If budget were not an issue, let's say you had all the money in the world, would you be shooting for more comedy or more gore?
I love that balance. I've always loved like juxtaposition. Like it's like, oh, we're so happy, kind of like how like Squid Game is, where it's like we're all dancing and there's like a shot of like that dude dancing and shit, and it's like this happy song, and it's like, and then as soon as that song stops, they have to run for their fucking lives. You know what I mean? Okay. So like I like that kind of like, it's a weird balance. I know it's like comedy and horror, you know what I mean? So
did you end up going to like any type of film school or anything like that, or have you figured these things out on your own? I mean, where has this gone early in your career?
Yeah, so I did. I went to Grand Valley in Grand Allendale, mm-hmm. and then I had like one class in Grand Rapids. So I went there, finished up in 2000, like the end of 2018. And then I was actually living in Hudsonville, Michigan at the time, because it was like close to the campus and everything. So I was commuting from there, and then in February of 2019, I moved into the city where I was working, and doing like improv and stuff, because I also do like improv comedy. That was like before I moved to Grand Rapids. I was doing improv in the Detroit area.
Yeah.
But then when I moved out, like I found the community there as well. And that was kind of the glue for me. Like it was like, meeting people, you know what I mean? When you move to a new city, you're how do I meet
the
people?
whole networking process. You're figuring out things with yourself as to what you want to do. And as you interact with more people, that's like finding your way. That's all you're doing is finding your way. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So met a lot of great people, started a troupe out there. And then the end of 2019, I moved out to Los Angeles, and lived with 32 people.
Oh, like a commune, for God's sake.
Yeah, it was pretty much like living in a hostel for the most part.
Okay.
But it was all like creatives and stuff. So it was kind of a nice way to like, I'm going to go do this jump, but then I'm going to be able to like meet all these people. You know what I mean? So
right.
That was super cool.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was definitely like, it was rough, but at the same time, it was like, that's what I'm going to go do,
So now as you and by the way, I'm doing the show right now from Hudsonville, Michigan. I don't know if I told you that.
Oh, nice. But yeah, I love that.
Where about in Hudsonville were you? I'm curious as to where exactly you were.
I lived across the street from the library. So like school in Van Buren.
Yeah. It's just down the road. Down the road.
Literally on that corner. It's like a duplex. There's like a house and then there's one up top. So
that's outstanding.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the movie, you're planning on having a screening coming up on the 12th of January at the Wealthy Theater. How did that all come about? Did you have friends that were able to accommodate you? Because that's a pretty fantastic place to screen a film.
Yes, absolutely. So we're actually going to be in the Koning micro cinema. So we're not going to be in the big Wealthy.
Okay. All right.
Yep. So we'll be in the Koning cinema. And we had done my improv troupe out there, Planned Parenthood improv. We did that. We did shows there. What, you probably know us.
Just sounds great. Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, Plant. We did shows there, and so we got like acquainted with people, and like my time being out there, like, you know what I mean? Like I just met people and like the arts and all that. So yeah, I definitely know some people out there, quite a bit. I would say like quite a bit of people. I'm hoping to get like a good pull for the show.
Nice.
Got to fill those seats with butts.
Is this now? If people want to see this, is it like how much is it to get in?
So so I'm renting the theater,
right,
and then it costs $15 to get in.
Okay. All right. Well, and I think that's fair for I mean, this is an independent film. Guys trying to make it. People want to show their support. People who know you, friends who know you, or know of you, or friends of friends. So, I mean, you can't really go wrong with supporting a project like that, because honestly, because you never know when the next great filmmaker is going to come along, and I've never discounted anybody, whether they're young or old. If somebody has something that I watch and I can get behind this. This sounds like something fun. You never know when it's going to turn to gold. So, I mean, that's what it's all about, because that's creativity and that's fun. I love that.
Yeah, I just found out too that Kevin Smith was working at the Quick Stop while he was making that, and this film I literally filmed at the place I was working at. So like this is my first like like kind of showcase like that. You know what I'm saying? So like, because like location it's difficult. Like if you're just like a dude who, I don't know, and you're like, oh, I want to go film at here. It's like you have to go find that location.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like the fact that I was working there and my boss let me film there, it was like incredible,
Was your boss in the film? Did he play chef?
No, that was actually my brother.
Oh, okay.
That was my brother. Yeah. No, I asked everybody, man, like nobody wanted to be a part of it. And I was like, okay, that's fine.
Fuck.
Like,
you got to reach out to me. I'm in. I'll drive hell or high water. I can pull that shit off. Next time you do something, let me know. I'm in. God damn it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in for
Even
that,
if it's
man.
just
Absolutely.
even if you just need voice work or anything or an actual part, I would love to do that. Holy shit. Are you kidding me?
I'm down for that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're going to be friends for life. I can feel it. You told me that at the Wealthy Theater that the band, and I'm going to play a little bit of the intro. I don't want to spoil anything of this film, but it's crazy because when I started watching this thing, the first thing that I picked up on, I was like, who is this fucking band? And they sound great. And I was like, I've got a vibe of like the Ramones going on here, but cleaner. And so I was like, what? I didn't know if you had this is an existing song, or did this music was made specifically for the film? Yes.
Yes, correct. Yes, yeah. So I talked to my buddy Sean, and I was like, I need a song about a killer hamburger, and then he made the song and sent it to me, and I was like, we got to get it recorded by Rick Johnson. He was like in Mustard Plug. He has his own studio and stuff.
No kidding.
And yeah, so we got it like recorded there, and my buddy Sean got the band together, and he's like, I'm going to have my buddy Josh do vocals, and we can get this Athen on drums. And like, yeah, it all just came together, man. It was
how long ago
incredible.
was the song made?
October.
Okay. Can we?
Yeah. So like
listen
October.
to a little bit of it. Okay. Just so people can get
Absolutely. Yeah, of course.
That is so cool. I could listen to that all day. And so they're going to be at the Wealthy Theater performing that song for people who come and see this?
Yes. Yeah. So I have I figured we would just do like all amps for them, and then I added an extra half hour to get like sound check, because I want to make sure like it sounds good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have like a PA and everything. So, because when I talked to Wealthy Theater, they were like, we don't really have anything for audio. We just have audio for like the screening. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, we can figure this out. So,
okay. Yeah. Just amp. Fucking, I mean, it'll be fine. A couple of amps. You'll be fine. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it'll be fun, man. I'm stoked for it. I'm super stoked.
Has this ever been? I don't think I asked you this yet. It hasn't been screened anywhere else, or this is the first screening.
So this is actually going to be the second screening. We had it screened at Planet Ant Theater in Hamtramck on December 18th, and great turnout. You know, a lot of friends and family, but. I mean, I lived in Grand Rapids for 7 years, so like I need to do it there. I love Wealthy Street Theater. Like it's something that I just want to do. And plus like Wealthy Street has like that traditional like movie theater, and like I got concessions and stuff, so like people will be able to like get popcorn, and I don't know, it's like kind of like the vibe of it or whatever.
Are you going to introduce the film and people are going to ask you questions at some point, do you think?
Yeah, so actually the whole screening is going to be really quick backstory. When I moved back last year, my buddy Jimmy, who was going through classes at Planet Ant for film, and they had to shoot a short film. So me and him have been working together a year now, and we shot his short film in June, and then me and him were like working on like sketches and stuff. So it's going to be a sketch, his short film, and then Night of the Living Bird.
All right.
So it like rounds out like an hour. You know what I mean?
An hour's worth of show from band to what you just said to your film.
It'll be like about an hour 15,
okay.
I would say.
All right.
Altogether.
8 p.m. on Sunday.
Yes. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? This Sunday, man.
Let me tell you something. It's a damn good thing the Lions won.
I know.
If they had the Lions game on Sunday, you'd have been fucked. Nobody.
Dude, it's so funny because my buddy Jimmy, who I was just talking about, loves the Lions. And I was like, hey, I text because I'm not a big like sports guy, but I was like, hey man, we won. What does your next week look like? We're good. And I was like, okay, sweet, dude. Because I don't need any like because he was like, well, if they lose, I'm gonna have to find a bar and then, like da-da-da. And I was like, okay, well, I can figure that out for you. But like
this has freed everything up. We get finally a week to relax from that fucking shit. And we can go and see Night of the Living Bird. God damn it.
I know, right? Just watch it. And then, I plan on like releasing it because I wanted to do like where we premiere it and stuff like that. So
if you need any MCs to help you, I will help you.
Okay.
And whatever you need.
Okay.
I'd love to assist you. So the film, and then people go and see it, and then you said it's going to be released like how much time?
Probably like that week, I would say. Because I don't know. It's weird because it's like I've been sitting on this thing for a minute now, and like nobody has seen it. You know what I mean? So like I'd like to get it released.
Yes.
Like a week after, but I think seeing it in the theater, it's that experience. I mean, when we first premiere, like what people were laughing at, you know what I mean? Like it was just like it's that theater experience,
Right. And if you make it, you want it to be released in some type of a timely fashion because it captures the spirit of what you were thinking at the time,
Right.
Makes
right.
sense.
Yep. So so it'll probably be, I'm going to say like that Friday. I think that's the 18th or something like that. I don't know.
If they want to go, what's the best way to get in? Is there like a ticket they buy in advance or do they do it day of?
Yeah. So there is, you can buy them day of, but I've been putting links in like the Night of Living Burg, like Instagram, Facebook, putting tags on there or links to that.
I can link all that in the show notes of this, what we're recording. I'll gather all that, and I'll just put it in there. We don't need to.
Okay, yeah, that's cool, because it's like GMCR fucking H97Q005 or something.
I'll link it up in the notes of this and get all of your, if people want to follow you on all the various socials.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
cool, man.
I think that'd be a lot of fun,
Hell yeah. Yeah, and I would want to say really quick, I appreciate you watching it, like, because I know I sent you that link.
Yeah,
and,
I watched it 1 minute after you sent it to me.
That's awesome, man.
I said, let's just do this. Let's just watch the film, and then there's a connection, and then I usually like to watch it and then chew on it for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Now I know what I want to talk about.
Right.
And there it was 28 minutes. Fucking A.
Yeah. I know, man. Well, next one's going to be feature length, so I'm hoping for an hour and a half,
So your next bit of work, how far along are you into it? What stage, I guess?
I'm still in like the pre-production. I'm still writing and stuff.
Okay.
because I there's like so many options as soon as you establish something, you have so many options to go with. So I want to make sure, and nothing's perfect. You kind of just have to do it, but at the same time, like, what do people want to see? I guess I don't know, because we can go like, as you know, like we can go right after this one, or we can go a year later. We can establish more that way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, what else got contaminated? And it's like, other stuff got contaminated, obviously.
So the next film is going to be part of this storyline then, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're just going to work on this. I mean, also doing like comedy sketches and stuff like that through the,
That's
I don't
fun.
know. We're just, there's a big umbrella we're trying to create. I don't know.
When you were growing up, did you do theater? Did you do all this? Did you do all this creative writing stuff? And people were always looking at you like you're a fucking psycho. Was that? Because that's how it is typically for people who make shit like this.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, like, I had a great growing up, but my stepdad was a schizophrenic. So I think that has like something to do with it. But he was a wonderful man. I'm not like knocking anything about
you can learn a lot
know?
from that. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. So like seeing that, like we had like this weird discipline, but then we also were like free to create. Like it was like, you have to fucking pull these weeds, but then go do whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like it was like this weird, and maybe that's why I like love those juxtapositions of like comedy and horror. You know, it's just like, oh man, we're so happy, but then we're dying, but we're still happier. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. Just to think that that's what you're pulling out of that is, I mean, you never know what's going to inspire somebody to do something that shows up in a film or a song or a book or whatever the hell.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, it was fun too. Like just doing this whole film. Yeah, it was a great time. And like, I would say like the hardest thing was scheduling. Like people were like down and I got their emails and stuff, but like it was like, okay, what days are you two available? What days are you guys available? You know what I mean? So it was like I had everything else down, and then I just had to figure out like when everyone was available, you know.
I imagine that's a common issue with anybody who has to do so much to make a film happen. You're in charge of everything. It's a one-man operation.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's how probably it is for everybody who's ever made films on a Super 8 camera, whether you're Quentin Tarantino or George Lucas. They had to start somewhere, which is why I always get excited when there's someone new like you who's just figuring this shit out, you know? I mean, goddamn it. In 20 years, we might look back on this fucking interview and you're living in fucking Malibu. And, you know, I'm like, hey, I talked to Andrew Cach, goddammit. Look.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, it is a crazy thing to think about because, like, you don't know.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Nobody fucking knows what's going to happen or, like, how things are going to pan out. It's just like you're doing the thing. You're taking, you know, and, like, I love, like, merch. Like, I have, like, the shirt on, you know, I have a poster, like, that was one of my things too. And I just love merchandise. It's not even about money or anything. It's just like, it's dope. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sweet. Yeah. So let's fucking do it.
Why not?
You know? Like,
why the hell not?
Exactly. Why not? Why not do it? You know?
Well, I love it, man. Great job. Hell, considering that this started Saturday, we were chit-chatting with each other, and now here we are.
Yeah.
So holy shit.
Yeah,
all right,
man, this
and
is
I'm gonna
awesome.
try to get out there, buddy, because it's next Monday, right?
Next Sunday.
Next Sunday. God damn it, my bad. The 12th. I don't know why. I said that.
You're good, man.
Yeah, there's no reason why I can't. I will reach out to you and we'll figure that out.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, if you want your name on the list, let me know.
No,
you know?
I pay.
So
I pay.
Cool.
I don't do free. I pay. Andrew, you're a good man. I appreciate you so much for spending the time. And sorry I was late. I know I fucked that up bad, but
You're fine, dude. No worries.
okay. Well, good luck to you. And
thanks, man.
Yeah, I hope everybody comes and sees you at the Wealthy Theater on the 12th.
Awesome. All right.
buddy.
Sounds good, man.
Peace.
I'll talk to you later. Later.